everybody, and welcome to 31 Days of Indie Horror Season 2. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and we're going to be doing things a little bit differently this time around. We have a awesome special guest that I'm going to get into in a second. And basically what I'm doing is I'm doing 31 days, 31 reviews, 31 guests. Basically, I'm having every day I have a different guest, and we're going to be doing a different movie. So it's gonna be a long one. And the beauty is, I'm starting it out. This is February, so things are gonna look different. I'm actually in my apartment in LA, and I'm actually moving in late March. So a lot of other episodes are going to be in like my house when I moved to Virginia, back to Virginia. So things are going to be different. May even get a hotel or something, or whatever. Like things are going to be different places and different, setups. But that's going to be the fun thing, and it's all coming out in October, so that's a while away from late February. But anyway, here I am with MeeChee Hazen. How are you doing, MeeChee?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful. Yourself?
I am doing fantastic. And we are going to be talking about the 2009, I think it was 2009, uh,
8?
2008, 2009-ish movie,
Like 2008?
2008 horror film, Hit and Run. And all right, everybody, Hit and Run. This was not the movie I was expecting it to be necessarily. I don't know about you, like, because I have to explain this. So last night I wanted to do something today. Like I didn't have anything scheduled. And so really late at night, I messaged, well, late at night for MeeChee. For me, it was like, I think 8 o'clock at night. But I messaged, or 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night. I messaged MeeChee and I said, I was kind of wanting to do this, but I know it's late, so if you don't want to. And she was down to watch a movie. I had to pick something. So I went on Tubi and I just looked around and I saw something that I hadn't seen that I was interested in checking out. And this movie, Hit and Run. And I had nothing. I did not know anything about it. I saw that it starred Kevin Corrigan. Huge fan of Kevin Corrigan. That's the guy that played the guy got hit, or whatever, in the Hit and
Tim.
Run. And he we'll get into him, I guess, in a second, and about the story. But it was, to me, honestly, having never seen this before, it was crazy. And like, I don't know where, like, the coolest thing about it that I'll say is that I had no idea where the story was going to go. Like it kept going in different directions, and I kept thinking, what the hell is
Yeah.
happening? And so what was that your initial thought?
You got my message. You
Yeah.
got my message. You got my message about.
What was your message? Tell
Uh,
everybody.
my message. Let me do this verbatim. Um, let's see. It's gonna be a fun show. Okay. Um. Oh, that was okay. Now, it was past midnight for me. I'm on the East Coast. So at
Okay.
12:32 a.m., I messaged Moody and I said, the writer of this the writer of this movie had issues.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's like I had to was it I really had to dig deep on this one on my thoughts.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, so you'd have written that. I was about, I think, 50 minutes in at the time, or 52 minutes in. So I had almost like a half hour left of the movie. And already I was like, where the fuck what is going on? So like, I mean,
Yeah.
so let's talk a little bit about the story. So the film starts off, basically there's this girl, Mary, who is
Hmm.
just she's having fun hanging out at a bar, like your typical, like, I guess, Friday night kind of thing. She
Hmm.
doesn't see her boyfriend. I'm guessing that's her boyfriend. They don't really, like, it's not, whatever, they're seeing each other. He's
Hmm.
kind of a dick. She goes
Yeah.
to what is it? She's going to leave. She wants to go home. I think she's expecting like her parents to be there when she gets home or something, because like in the car she actually made sure her mouth smelled good and stuff for when she got
Yeah,
home.
her little Banaka spray.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, she must be like her parents must be like potentially coming home, So she's
Hmm.
getting ready. She's having a fun time like driving in the car, and she swerves out of the way of the road because there's something in the road. I don't think we ever figure out what it was.
The
But
tire.
a
I think it's a
tire or something.
tire.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she swerves out of the road, and she like I guess hits a tree, and she thinks, okay, everything's fine. Life is whatever, like um I just got to get back home and maybe I can deal with whatever. So she gets home, and she starts I guess what I want to remember, because did she hear about the guy, or was this after she? Yeah, I think it was after she came
It
back
was
into the
after.
garage. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
she finds out her parents are going to be gone for a little longer. So for the weekend she's like free at the house to do whatever she wants. And she goes to check out her car to, I guess, to see the damage and to see what's wrong with it or whatever. And she finds a guy like under her car, and she's like freaking out about it, and he's still alive. So in a typical real
Yeah.
like thing, like, and the guy tries to attack her, or whatever, which I don't think he was trying to
Hmm.
attack her, but she thought he was, I guess.
I don't
you
think
know
so.
I think he
Yeah.
was just trying to like say, hey, like
Mm.
what the fuck. But she
Help me.
yeah,
Yeah.
help me. And instead she like attacks him, and she thinks she killed him. So what do you do when
Yeah.
you think you killed somebody? You go and you bury them, right? You don't call the
Deep in
cops.
the
You don't.
woods.
Deep in the woods.
No.
You just want to get rid of him. And then she starts feeling bad when she hears it was this guy who was like this really kind of
Everybody
upstate.
loved.
Yeah, he's upstanding citizen. He's really sweet. He's very whatever. So then her
Uh-huh.
boyfriend comes, and she's freaking out about everything, and she tells him what happened,
Hmm.
and he doesn't know what to do, right? Like he's freaking out too. So he tells her, just calm down, there's right, nothing you can do about this situation right now, and everything. Just try to get some sleep, and I'll see you like later, I gotta work. So the next day
Mm.
she tries to get him to come. So like the next night they go to the place where she buried him, and she wants to make sure. Oh well, before then she also went, before she met up with the boyfriend, she went to check up on her bumper to see how bad the damage was. And I guess they wanted it overnight, and she just couldn't do that. She had to pick up some parrots. I mean, there was a lot that happened, like if you think about it.
Yeah.
you know
Her grandma's birds.
Grandma's birds, like, honestly, I mean, look, it was kind of cool to have the animals there, but like it really didn't, like I thought there was going to be something more with the parrots, and stuff, but they didn't really do anything with it other than the parrots squawking every now and then. Like it almost seemed like they could have
Okay.
dropped the
Now
parrots. What?
they could have. They could have dropped the parrots. They could have dropped the way the parrots sound, because parrots don't sound like that.
Right.
They
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Um by the way,
Oh, it's just,
did you
I
catch
know,
at the
it was just a
beginning where
lot of parts of this.
this was put out by MGM Studios? Did you like catch that in the very beginning where they said like Metro Goldwyn
Yeah,
Mayer?
so I was expecting something really, really great.
I know, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was watching it going,
And
MGM doesn't generally put out independent stuff. Like they put out like Hollywood stuff. So I was like, oh
yeah.
crap! Like, can this count as in 31 Days of Indie Horror? I watched the movie. It can count. Like it
Yeah.
was so anyway, it's a long story short, so we can cut the story short a little bit. Basically, she goes back to find the guy, or
Hmm.
to go with her boyfriend, I guess, is killed by the guy or whatever. We never
Yeah.
really know what's going on exactly with that. The guy attacks her. She kills the guy again, supposedly, or whatever. Takes his keys. That
Yeah.
key scene, I mean, it didn't have me on the edge of my seat. It just had me going, don't do it. Don't do it. You know, like you're going to regret
Yeah.
this. Like, this is the dumbest move.
Yeah.
You never, ever go back and try to get the keys. You just run as quickly as you can out of the woods. You know, like that's
Exactly.
what I would have done. I understand she's in the middle of
Or
nowhere.
you just keep going until the head's decapitated.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Or you go and kill this guy until like you cut the guy's head off or something. He can't come
Yeah, you don't
after you
stop.
and then take his keys from him after that, you know? But anyway,
There you go.
so like she gets out of the she gets back in the car, right?
Mhm.
To leave, and she sees the guy in the street, you know? And I think that's right.
Yeah.
When did she run him over? Did she run him over twice? I get her
Uh,
3 times, I guess. Like,
she saw that he was in the street, so she sped up.
right.
And then that's when she hit him. And then he was on the hood for a while, going through the window and stuff like that. And she hit the brakes, so he flew. And then that's when she rolled over him again.
But was that right before he kidnapped her or something? Or wait, when was? I watched it last night, but I only watched it once, so I can't. I'm trying to remember because she kidnaps her. Like he kidnaps her and ties her up in like Christmas or like decorations and stuff and everything, Christmas lights. Just freaking crazy. Like I totally felt terrible for her.
Oh my God, I did too. It's like, okay, so she only hit you and buried you, and then you torture her.
Well, I mean, there was a lot more going on, and I'll go into that real quick. There was a lot more going on with this dude. This dude might have been like an upstanding citizen that people love, but like there was something more that like we didn't even really know the full story, but there was something like he caught his wife doing something and he was like angry and he became evil at one point. So like I think he thought somebody was supposed to kill him, was like that girl was like set to kill him or something, you know, or whatever, or was like sent to kill him because the way he was talking to his wife at that like one moment, it seemed like he was saying like she was trying to kill me, when in the same sense she really wasn't originally. When she first ran him over, it was an accident, and she even says that to him, like, it was an accident, and he doesn't believe it at all. He does not believe it. He thinks it was all set to. But then he also killed the gas station attendant. Like, what the hell, dude? Like, that guy did nothing except trying to, like, you know,
I know.
like he could have just left
like,
without killing that guy, and it would have been fine. You know, like he did not need to put gasoline down his throat.
He didn't. Oh God, that was horrible.
I know when you were saying like, I get it, where you're saying like these people, these writers were really messed up. There's 2 writers, by the way, who wrote it.
I put a note here, that poor attendant.
Right? He was I felt so terrible for him. Like he was doing nothing but like he was happy that guy, oh, I found the guy. Okay, well, do you need help? I'll call the cops. Like, you know, and he didn't want the cops to call because he wanted to like take care of you know, take care of this girl by himself, you know? I mean, it was crazy. Like this movie was, I mean, when it's called Hit and Run, there's not just one hit and run in this movie. There's like 2 or 3, and it's like incredible.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be more like I Know What You Did Last Summer, you know, where like they did a hit and run and then, you know, like somebody's coming after them or whatever. But like it was definitely not anything like that, you know, like it was insane.
No, not at all.
It was, you know, what did you think? Did you like it? Did you enjoy the movie? You have to think about that.
I'm trying to be nice. I
Yeah,
believe
be
they did really
honest.
well with
Be
some of the
honest
effects,
though.
but I was really, really, really wanting so much more, and the cinematography was really messing with me. It's like, why
Oh,
was the phone bleeding?
yeah. Yeah,
Why was the phone bleeding? Um, and like these unnecessary close-ups.
I think some of it
It's
was like
like,
supposed to be like a little bit psychological, you know? Like I thought at one point it was going to go where there was no guy, this was all in her head or
oh, you
something. Like
froze.
that's uh-oh. Yeah.
No,
Hey, it's okay. Hold on.
Moody.
Uh this is the problem with Zoom, everybody. Sometimes you freeze and hopefully she's going to be still there.
I'm here.
There we go. All right.
Okay.
Sorry, I was telling people on here that sometimes doing Zoom it'll
Mhm.
freeze and stuff, and just we gotta get back to that. Um, well, I was gonna say, like, I thought some of it was gonna be psychological. Like I thought it was gonna be where she thought he was, like she had thought she ran somebody over, but she never really did, or something.
Yes,
There
I
was
thought so too. That's why I told you that I had an end note on all of this. Remember?
right. What was your end
It's
note?
like because um overall I watching it, I was just like I was wanting to like it, but I couldn't find myself to like it. And the end note that I thought of was, okay, maybe they're trying to get across this like you can't get away with drunk driving.
Maybe,
It's gonna haunt you the rest of your life with your decisions. So I
maybe.
was
I
trying
mean,
to
maybe
find
that was.
something
I know. Maybe that was the positive message, I guess, in the whole thing.
because the garage attendant asked her the same damn question as he did the day before. Cell phone?
Yeah, it was sort of annoying.
It's like,
Yeah, I
and then
know.
he asked her, "Are you okay? Do you need help?"
Yeah, that's what I was gonna write. That I didn't write that, but I was gonna write that as a note. Like, are you okay? Like, is not this question you ask when you first see somebody like really messed up? Like, it's not like she showed up and then all of a sudden she looked different.
Yeah.
Like she
It's like,
looked messed up from the very beginning. The other thing I didn't
and
get
the
was
cop.
why did she put more stuff on her and then take it off later? Like in the, you know, like what was the point of putting like all the mud and stuff and just putting it all over her face? Like,
Only to like keep this like little battle
yeah, but
marks.
she went to the bathroom right after that because she asked, "Can I clean up?" Right? And I'm like,
What'd you clean up, bitch?
like why did you have to do that? Like what was the point? I didn't get it. Like I didn't get the
I
point.
didn't
But
either.
all in all, this movie
I
was.
had
The other thing I did not like was that the killer kept calling her, like the guy she ran over kept calling her,
yeah.
right? And he knew her name. How did that happen?
Mary had a little lamb.
Right. I get it if like she had said her name at some point to him,
Mhm.
but she never did.
That yeah, that's why where you came up with the psychological point, to the whole thing. It's like at the end she starts laughing because they find him, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, sorry, spoilers.
Well, I mean, there's
Um,
going to be lots of spoilers. I mean,
so
there's
it's like,
already been spoilers.
yeah, it's probably uh, it is probably is a psychological thing where she probably dreamt it all, you know, guilt or something. I don't know
No, no, because it
because
ends with him under the car, right? I think
right.
maybe he was under the car and maybe all of the other stuff never happened, you know, except the hit
Hmm.
and run, you know, like maybe she really did hit the guy, and maybe like psychologically she knew it, and she saw the guy. Maybe she never buried him. Maybe she never did all that other stuff. That's why, because when he calls her on the phone and says Mary had a little lamb or Bloody Mary or whatever, all these things and taunting
Hmm.
him or taunting her, like he doesn't have a cell phone on him, doesn't know her number. There, he
Hmm.
calls the house phone too, not just her regular phone. So her cell phone. So like it's starting to make me think like when he's calling her, those are all fake. When when she sees him, when she runs him over the second time, because when she sees him and picks the keys up, like he seems
Mhm.
dead, right? And then she gets in the car and she
Mhm.
drives. How did he get there that fast? He couldn't
Did you
have.
not see his eyes open when she was searching for the
Right,
keys?
right, right. But how did she? There's no way he could have
That's
ran
yeah.
to the other side of the road that quickly. What?
How did
That,
he get ahead of her?
right. So there's no
I
way.
told you I took notes.
I know, but like
Yeah, and it's
it's
like
just all pointing out to
where did you get
maybe
the
it was
blowtorch from?
it's true. I don't know. All that stuff. Like there's so much that I think a lot of it is not real. You know. You know what I mean? It's
I
all
know, but
psychological.
just at what point?
Problem
But
is
at
they
what point did
never.
it not become real?
The other problem with this, if that's the case, if that's the thing, is they never specify that at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
There's an amazing movie called High Tension that is a very big psychological thriller, done very well by the
Mhm.
guy who did like the Hills Have Eyes remake and Alexandra Aja. I love it. It's like one of my favorite like movies that not many like only indie horror people, like people who are really into horror films, know that movie, you know.
Mm.
But it's a freaking amazing movie. It's all takes place in one location, which normally drives me nuts, but it's a big house, so
Mm.
it works. And the killer is it's kind of it's like all in your head, kind of thing. But or is it? They kind of leave it like that. And that's what
Hmm.
I think they tried with this and it just did not work because you
It
don't
didn't.
what you need is you need scenes where it flashes to all the potential like things to make you go, okay, it was all in her head, or maybe like it ended with her
Yeah.
mental hospital and they're them telling her like, sweetie, never never hit, you only ran over that guy once, or whatever, all this other, right? Like
Mhm.
there's, I don't know, there's so many things that like it kind of blurs reality and psychological thriller, and it doesn't give you any hints to which way it is. And that to me, that's kind of poor storytelling. So I kind of blame the
It
writers
it was. I agree.
and I blame the director because if the writing was there and actually kind of showed it, and then they didn't do that with the direction, then I blame both, sides. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
and it's
Honestly,
just
who knows? This movie
it's
kind of
like they
drove me a little
stitched a lot of
nuts.
stuff together. It's like, let's throw this here, throw this there. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
just like, Moody, what do you have me watching, man?
This is what you're gonna get.
And my husband's like,
Are
yeah,
you
my
watching
husband's
with
like,
your
what are
husband?
you watching? And I'm like, I don't know. Well, he works on the other side. He works, that's his office on the other side here. So he works until 3:30 in the morning. So he hears me watching this movie. And I'm saying, like, are you freaking for real? What the hell just happened?
I was saying stuff
Seriously?
to the thing too.
And he's like, what are you watching? I was like, you don't want to know. He's like, all right.
I mean, having like all these people in the movies, haven't they watched horror films to know not to go get the keys from the dead body? Like you
Mm-hmm.
don't do that generally. But
Mm-mm.
his eyes moved open, like I could tell he's still alive. But then how did he get in front of everybody? I don't know. Like how did that happen? And then she runs him over, and then
Where did her
um,
stab wounds go?
I don't know. Well, that's a good
Remember?
question. Continuity errors,
Yeah.
like there. Well, once again, maybe they weren't there.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
she never got stabbed. Maybe she never got. She was limping a little bit.
Yeah. Well, she did
Which
fall down the stairs and she impaled herself in the leg, remember?
yeah, with the knife. Yeah.
Ow.
So there was a
Was it a knife?
couple things. What?
Was it a knife?
I thought it was a knife. She had a knife in her hand to go.
Oh, see, I must not have been. I thought it was a screwdriver.
Maybe it was a screwdriver,
I was probably
but
wanting a screwdriver at that point.
oh no. I thought it was a knife, but it could very well. I mean,
Mm.
remember I only watched it once. I didn't like go back to look at different things. I probably almost feel like I should have because maybe I'd see things differently the second time. And I could catch it.
Yeah. I was telling myself that I would probably need to watch this the second time to see if I missed something. Maybe in like the opening credits, that long driving scene
Yeah.
that they could have not put in, but it's like maybe I missed
Well,
something there. I don't know.
honestly, this was made. You said like 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And around 2008, uh, it says 2009 on IMDb. So when did it actually come out? Like when was the
Yeah, because I got 2008 when it on listed on Tubi.
okay?
Um,
Weird because it says
so
2009 was its release date was January 13th,
hmm,
2009. So whatever. I'm gonna put
okay,
it down as 2009.
okay.
Maybe 2008, 2009. Whatever it is. Uh, All right, let's see what this. So this is written by anonymous, right? Um, Mary Murdoch, a college student, thinks she's hit and killed a cat with her car. Wait, I don't remember the cat. I don't remember her saying she thought she hit a cat.
I don't remember
With
that in
her
the
car
description.
driving home drunk from a party, she's horrified beyond words when she gets home and discovers a man nearly dead impaled on her bumper of her Jeep. Terrified and irrational, Mary's forced with a series of decisions that determine her fate.
Wait,
Okay.
is that the IMDb
Yeah,
description?
this is the IMDb. This is what somebody wrote. This is one of the things because there's a couple IMDb ones. Because the first one on there says a young woman tries to cover up a deadly hit and run accident only to have the supposedly dead victim come back to terrorize her. And the last one, written by somebody from Rio de Janeiro, said after
Uh-huh.
drinking a lot of booze with her girlfriends in a bar, the wasted Mary Murdoch drives her Jeep home. However, she loses control and runs over a passageway. During the night, Mary hears some moaning in her garage, and for her surprise, she finds a wounded man holding onto the bumper of her Jeep. When the stranger grabs her leg, she smashes his head with the golf club. Yeah, we forgot to mention that.
Yeah,
That's how she
yeah,
killed him. Was like it was pretty brutal of a
yeah.
killing.
It
When
was.
Mary realizes that she has killed the man, she panics and decides to bury the body in the woods with tragic consequences. So, I mean,
Okay. The Tubi says a college student is horrified to discover that a man's nearly dead body impaled on her Jeep and makes a series of fateful decisions as he comes back to terrorize her.
yeah.
Yeah, it says nothing about a cat.
Yeah, I'm saying there was like one person that said a cat. Like, and I thought that was
That
weird
is
because
so weird.
I don't remember a cat like her saying anything about a cat, or
Yeah.
anything. So I don't
And
know.
what was with the Christmas lights? He plugged her in.
That's so fucked up. That was actually, I think that was maybe a reference to Black Christmas. I think in Black Christmas they do something like that.
Well,
But see, that makes
also
sense
in
for Black Christmas, a movie set during Christmas. This is not set during
no,
Christmas.
it's spring
You know,
break. But then also he had the effect of Pet Cemetery. You die one way, you get buried, and you come back another.
I don't think that was I don't think at all. I think you're giving this film a little bit too much credit.
I'm
Uh,
trying to make it. I'm trying to like it.
I know, no, that was not the plan. She supposedly buried that guy alive, or it was all it's all just like her
It,
imagination after she killed
it
the
had
guy.
to have been in her head.
That could be a thing too. Like once she killed him, maybe she snapped a little bit,
What
because
was he doing way out there anyway?
why was he? Yeah, I mean, well,
What
if
did
you
his wife
okay,
say?
here's the thing. You said there was a tire, right? Like in the road or whatever.
Yeah. Mhm.
Maybe the tire, maybe that belonged to a car that we just never saw, you know, and
Mhm.
everything. And maybe like his tire got blown out and he was in the middle of middle of the woods waiting for
Mhm.
somebody to come. And she saw the tire, flew out and just impaled him instead, like, or whatever.
Maybe.
Problem is like, okay, this would have been such a great movie had it had like a much bigger budget, you know? because they could have done a lot more with it, you know? Like
Oh yeah.
you could have seen the accident like better and clearer. You would have known that she
Hmm.
had impaled the guy originally, right? Or whatever. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
guessing that was sort of supposed to be a you know, a little bit of a
Surprise factor.
surprise factor, but like, come on now. If you had impaled a guy on your Jeep, you know, right? You would have
Yeah.
noticed it when you pulled in, you know, you pulled out of your car. You're not going to walk by. I mean, you're not going to walk away from your car and not notice there's some dude going, help me, you know, when you get
Yeah,
out of your car.
because she walks around the other side,
Yeah.
you know,
So,
because when she comes back to check on her vehicle because of the noise, there's plenty of room in the front.
yeah,
So it's like, you hit something, so you would normally look in the front of your vehicle. You wouldn't look around it.
right.
And I'm like,
Exactly.
yo, look, I'm getting a headache just
Just thinking about that shit. No, it's,
right
it's not,
right there.
I know. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm not very happy. Like I chose this film because I hadn't seen it. I didn't know anything about it. Didn't know anything about it. Like literally, I knew the
Hmm.
title and I knew it was on Tubi, and I was like, let's watch it. You know, I saw Kevin Corrigan. I was like, sweet, he's great, and he did a interesting job. You know, like Kevin Corrigan's always good. Like I've never had a movie where I'm like, oh man, that was such a bad acting. You know, it's great acting.
Uh-huh.
It's just his character was just too wackadoodle for me. Like I didn't get anything of what was going on.
All of the
Uh
characters were shallow. There was
yeah,
no character buildup
yeah,
whatsoever.
there's no character development.
Development. Yep,
Um like
exactly.
even Mary, I felt like you don't really get to really know her. You just get to know like her circumstances that she's in. You know, you like you know what I mean? And but it did make me think there was the scene where she gets the birds, right? And the guy's like, "Well, have a nice day too," you know? And I'm like thinking, I mean, I kind of get it. You know, she's not having the greatest day right now. Like this is the last thing she
Yeah.
wants to do is pick up the birds, you know, or whatever. Like last minute pick
Yes.
up the birds. Like she's got way too much on her mind. So her being a
Mhm.
little bitch to that
Mhm.
guy wasn't her being a bitch. That was her like just dealing with stress and like not
Spacing
wanting to make
out. Yeah.
yeah, not wanting to make freaking small chit chat with some random dude. Like, I mean,
I've been there. I've been there, you
I've been
know.
there too. Like there are times I'm just not in the mood to talk to somebody. And
Yeah.
you know, like the worst thing that you can do is like basically tell somebody like smile or be happy or whatever when they're like dealing with a lot of stress, you know. So I got it, you know,
Mhm.
I didn't feel like her character
Yeah.
at all was like bitchy. I kind of felt sorry for her because like I mean, she didn't know what, you know, what to do. She should have called the
Yeah.
police honestly. I mean, by the end of the movie, she got caught, basically. The police were
Yeah.
coming on their way.
Mm.
So she was going to jail for the hit and run, which she deserved, you know, like if you hit somebody, you know, you deserve to go to jail for it, you know.
Yeah. You gotta pay the
Um
consequence. Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I
And
mean
what was with
it's
that cop earlier when she went to the garage the first time? How he just kind of like parks and backs it up and looks at her like,
okay. That was their psycho moment. That was actually from the movie Psycho. The original Psycho from Alfred Hitchcock had a scene where where the girl came to, was it, and I wanted to point that out. Good. Thank you for bringing that up because I forgot to earlier. But,
mhm,
there was the scene where they were, uh, in Psycho, the girl steals like Janet Leigh's character steals money from her company, right? And instead of taking it to
mhm,
the bank, she decides to go further and go, you know, right? And her mind starts playing these like discussions of like what's going to happen to me, you know, like these people are going to catch
mhm,
me and she gets paranoid, right? So she falls asleep in her car, and a cop comes and talks to her, right? And says, you know, we can't
mhm.
have you sleeping in your car. You gotta, you know, right? Kind of thing. And he starts asking her questions. and she doesn't want to answer any of the questions because she doesn't want to like give herself away and everything. So he
Mm-hmm.
starts kind of being a little
Incriminate
bit,
herself.
yeah. So he starts to be a little suspicious of her because she's acting a little wacky at that moment. So he starts following her, and so
Mm-hmm.
she wants to get rid of her car, switch her car with another car so that the people that are looking for her or whatever can't track her car down. She'll get another car and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So she does that. She's in the car thing with the person, and the cop pulls up and stares at her, in the middle of everything. So she's like, "Can you hurry up?" Right? I gotta get going. All this stuff, and it's the same. It's their homage to Psycho, and I actually really appreciated that, considering I actually really love that movie. So I got it, and I'm hoping that
Mm-hmm.
the director, if the director's watching this and everything, that he would understand, understand. I got it, or the writers, I got it. Like I'm, like, it wasn't too. It was subtle enough where it might confuse some people, but like if you're a big horror nerd like I am, and you've seen, like classics like Psycho and whatnot, there you go. Like that was kind of a perfect homage. However, it does confuse the fuck out of people otherwise. Like
Yeah.
you
It,
haven't
yeah.
seen it. I was thinking about that, going, okay, is the cop going to come back? Is there going to be something more? Are they going to
Mm-hmm.
use that? Oh no, they just went psycho on it. Like it just did a psycho thing. Okay, great. Moving on. Like, cause you never see the cop again. I mean, you hear the cops
Yeah.
coming. It would have been
Mm-hmm.
great if you heard the cops coming and then that same cop came. That would have been cool at the end.
I was waiting. I was waiting.
It didn't happen.
But yeah.
Which is kind
Mm-mm.
of weird because it seemed like that episode, that scene was the same, probably shot on the same day. I don't understand why they wouldn't just at least throw that in there as like, well, come here, sweetie. Let's like where you're going to downtown kind of thing. But I don't
No,
know.
they just ended it the way they did. It was with her the way she acted, and I was just like,
Like laughing
doesn't.
about it, which
Yeah, like.
I get, I totally get that, but
Yeah, because you're at the end of your rope, the end of your sanity.
yeah.
You're at that point like, I'm over this. I am so done. That you just laugh because it's completely insane at that point.
Right. It's like I can't get away from this guy. Like I don't know how he
Yeah.
even came under my car the last time, or whatever. Like I thought I'm done with him. But she wasn't,
Hmm.
and she so I'm just wondering, and I'd love to hear from other people who've seen this film and whatnot, but I'm wondering, did you guys, let me see what the reviews say. Because maybe the reviews, like maybe it confuses people enough. um, okay. Hit and run, don't drink and drive. That's one thing somebody already said. A psycho chiller. Okay, so I think they are really they tried to go with the whole psychological um
Hmm.
bit. Uh, okay, hold on. Let me see some of the so psycho chiller
There's
seems
a.
to be what they're calling it. What?
I was gonna say there's a 2012 hit and run movie.
Yeah, that was a completely different one. That was with like
Yeah, because it brought up the wrong movie.
yeah.
You
Um
really need to do a series on Alfred Hitchcock and those old timey movies.
oh, I do. I already have one. It's called Hooked on Hitchcock. It's a
Oh my God,
podcast.
that's right.
Yeah,
I haven't.
but we
I just
dive
haven't
into
logged into
like
that one in a while. I was like, wait a minute.
we dive into like more of the obscure movies, that he's done.
Mm,
Not Psycho and North by Northwest or Rear Window, like the typical ones everybody talks about, but we try to talk about the ones that people don't talk about, because
mm-hmm.
he's made way more movies than you expect. Completely. Like he's made like over 40 movies, I think, or 30 or 40
Wow.
movies, something like that. He's made a lot. And so I like my plan is to dive into it and then eventually get to the more popular movies, later. But like
Mm-hmm.
I want to, I don't want to do that. So
Oh,
but
they
yeah,
got 16% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What? Really? I'm not surprised though, but it actually I am surprised. All these reviews seem to be
Somebody said that this was
good.
Twisted Central.
Okay, victim or villain? All right, let's see what this review said. The thing about this flick is that in this movie, you don't know for sure who is the good guy or the bad guy. It keeps changing. One of the main twists is that the divisions between who's good and who's bad are not very black and white. Hey.
There we go. Hey.
What in the world just happened?
I don't know. It's just like it froze and then your screen went blank.
It
And
said
it
I'm still
Jonathan.
recording, so that's good. That's weird. It literally like hung up on me, and stuff. So
yeah.
that was weird. Okay. This is why I'm glad I'm going back to Virginia. I'm hoping I get better reception and shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you hear what I was saying?
Oh, someone said that there were plenty of twists and turns that made this movie very enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like, what?
I don't. Does anybody actually get the movie? Like, it seems like people are glad that it had a lot of, like, oh, all right. Somebody say hit and run. Was it real? Okay. After I watched this, it occurred to me that it could be everything after she buried the body was part of her delusion. I say that because the movie changed tone midway. At the start, it was really kind of real and shown normal. Girl drives around from party. Girl finds dude on front of car. Girl beats him upside the head with a golf club and buries him. Then after the events become more and more ludicrous and out of hand, which made me think we were seeing it all from her hysterical delusions. I don't mind that too much. Then I thought it was even possible maybe that the whole hit and run might not be real either, and the whole thing was like some kind of nightmare. She'd enter like a Christmas Carol or something, and the freaky teacher back from the dead was like the ghost of the Christmas past, teaching her a horror. I don't go with that one. Her horrifying, nasty, never
that was a little far-fetched
lesson about why she's a naughty girl drinking and driving. After all, he did wrap her up in Xmas lights. No, I don't buy that part. Like I think it was. I honestly think it was part of her delusions. I think she did everything after she buried him. Became like because she remember she buried him, then she went back home, then her boyfriend came over, and then she started hearing things. She thought somebody was outside or something, had him go and check. So there could have been, it could have been like that she was just getting paranoid and delusional and crazy and thinking this guy was actually coming after her when really he wasn't actually there the whole time until well, actually, then again, it ends with him being discovered right underneath the car. So
under the
maybe she never buried him. Maybe he was always just underneath the car. I don't know. Like, so freaking confusing. Like, I feel like
someone's saying that 75% of this film is just Beckenridge, who played Mary, running around, psyching herself out and fighting a guilty conscience. The few scenes where she actually had to give dialogue were just okay. And they were saying that the director was a first-time director. And then there's two writers, and they brought us the show Penny Dreadful, or the movie that
I don't think it was the TV show, it was the movie. There was a movie called Penny Dreadful that they wrote.
Yeah.
But
so I'm like, I don't know.
Out of
5 stars, if I were to rate it, 1.5.
Okay, we're gonna do ratings.
Maybe,
all right.
Maybe
I wasn't planning that, but now I want to do ratings for all these.
That's it.
Yeah, I would have to go with 2.5 out of 5 because honestly, it wasn't great, but all in all, it did make me think, and it did make me wonder if like half of it was fake or not. So at least it got me thinking like
that's
that.
why I upped mine to 2.
Yeah, so at least it had that going for it. Okay, so you give it 2, I give it 2.5 stars. I
Hmm.
honestly think it
Hmm.
could have been better, considering it was the first time filmmaker and the 2 writers obviously know what they're doing. They've done a bunch of other stuff. It's not like this is like new territory for them. So, I mean, it was
I
okay.
thought those who played the characters did good. I thought they did good.
Yeah,
The storyline itself and piecing them together is kind of what it
yeah. The
didn't do for
writing,
me.
the writing was
But
bad. Like,
yeah, the writing was bad, but I thought everyone who acted it out
did the best
did
they
pretty
could with
good.
that.
You know,
Yeah.
they did. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
So it's not on them; it's on the writing
I
and the
know. See,
directing.
like I can't get mad at the actor who played the was it the garage attendant or whatever, because not the gas station attendant, but the garage attendant. I can't get mad at him for
Yes.
saying, uh whoa, are you, whatever, because that's a writing thing, like how do you
Hmm.
write that?
Oh,
You like catch that like after, like how do you not write like she's walking
mm-hmm.
disheveled up to was and limping up to this guy, and he asks her after, like, you don't, that the first question out of your mouth should be, are you okay? And then she can go,
I would.
I'm
Yeah.
okay, I'm fine, I need my bumper dealt with, right? Like,
Hmm. Yeah.
it just makes no sense. But I can't get mad at the attendant because he's given those lines to say, and he didn't, and like he didn't fumble, and they weren't
Right.
terrible out of his
Exactly.
mouth. Like I didn't cringe with any of the acting at all. Um,
No, I didn't either. Like I said, I thought they were good for what they were handed. You
I
know,
didn't like the douchebag guy at first. I thought
but
he
he
was
played being a douche really good.
right. No, I didn't like him because of his character. I didn't. It's not the
Yeah.
actor did a great job, and in fact, I've seen
Hmm.
pictures of that guy in other things, and he looks completely different and non-douchey looking. So
Oh wow.
I guess he was like in Entourage and a couple other things. So I was like looking him up, going, this guy actually seems like he would, was a pretty good, solid actor. He did a good job playing that
Hmm.
kind of role. Who like I was like going, why is Mary with this guy like at all, and the
Hmm.
second of all, instead of the fact that she runs the guy over, why didn't she just invite him over or something, or whatever, like it didn't make, like, well, I guess it made sense if she thought that her parents were going to be there, she can't invite him over
Oh yeah.
necessarily, but if her
Yeah.
parents weren't going to be there, like, hey, party on, let's have a hang out and and
Hmm.
why didn't he stay? Like, I think he was saying like he had to be up at 4
I have
a.m.
to
and I'm
get
like,
up in like 4
in
hours.
4 hours, yeah, at 4 hours, and I'm like,
It's
why
like you
didn't
could have
you
slept
freaking,
there, gone
yeah,
home
you
real
could have
quick,
slept
showered, gone to work.
or showered there, and then gone back to your house, grabbed your clothes, and went to right to work. I mean, or whatever. But didn't
Like
sound like a
froze
great
again on my
boyfriend,
hands.
honestly. And but she never finds his body, so maybe he never showed up or something. Maybe he showed up
She
later.
did find his body.
Did she find his body?
She found his
Okay.
body and she found his car.
Oh, that's right. Fuck.
The car had the hole in the windshield or in the driver's side window or something with blood all
Okay.
over it.
God damn it. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see. This is what
Yeah.
happens when you watch it once and you just like, and so much is going on, so you can't remember. I can only remember like bits and pieces of it, like her being wrapped up in freaking Christmas lights and being
And
tortured and
and there was also extension cords and the kid. What happened to the kid?
I don't know. But what I really wanted to know was like, why was the wife so weird? Like, she was probably the worst actor in the group, and I'm not saying that like in a mean way or whatever. Like, I mean, she wasn't terrible, but she was like, and maybe half of it's the dialogue, but like, she comes home
Yeah.
and he sees her, and he's like, um, and he's all fucked up, like completely. The first thing
Hmm.
you should do is call the fucking cops and have an ambulance come and pick him up, take him there. And he even says at
Yeah.
one point, like, she's like, I'm gonna call the cops. And he doesn't stop her. And the cops come, or whatever, the cops get
Mm-mm.
called, but they never come or anything. They say they're gonna call cops,
Yeah.
but like,
Nope.
what the fuck is going on? Like, I like literally think
Yeah.
that stuff is like all in what's her name's head. Like, none of this actually happened.
You know, well, what was her head doing in his bedroom?
Yeah, how did he know it? I mean, other than did she see what the wife looked like, or the wife and the kid look like in the video?
The newscast.
In the newscast. That's what I'm thinking. So maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's all in her head. Like she didn't know. I mean, like,
It had to have been like that review said, she was fighting a guilty conscience,
right.
and she was in the right state of mind anyway because she was drunk and then drunk driving. And like I said, they were probably trying to make a message like drinking and driving, you got consequences.
Right.
So like I said, I was really, really, really reaching out here,
You
trying
really
to.
wanted to like it. And generally speaking, we haven't really found you many films that you hated, or whatever yet. So, or whatever, not hated, but didn't like, because I don't think you
That's why
hated
this one
this movie.
surprised me, and
I don't think you hated this movie. I
no, I
think you
didn't
just
hate
didn't.
it.
You
It's
just,
hard.
yeah. It wasn't what we were hoping for. Oh well.
It
It's
didn't
gonna
catch my
happen.
fancy.
I love that this is the first one to start it off because there are gonna be like some movies where it's just like, oh god, I can't believe this is going on. But you know what? I mean, that's what happens when you pick indie horror, So
Mm-hmm.
just what happens. All right. Anyway, thank you so much. We talked for an hour. We actually got an hour
Yes,
out of the
I'm
show.
sorry. It's always so
No,
long.
no, that's what I wanted actually. I was hoping it would go an hour. Some episodes may be shorter than others, and what?
Oh, I can talk. I
Okay.
can talk.
Alrighty.
I can
Well,
talk.
thank you, MeeChee. And we're gonna have you back on a bunch of other shows. You're welcome back here. And remember,
Thank you.
we're going to be releasing one episode a day for 31 days. So be ready. There's going to be a lot of movies, and I'm going to have a lot of 31 guests, different guests. Each one will be one other guest and myself
Awesome.
talking. So that's a lot of people, to talk.
Yeah.
A lot of them are going to be in my other of my different shows and stuff with me.
Sweet.
So I'm very excited. Can't wait for this. This is going to be a fun it's going to be a fun season, of different things.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much. And everybody.
Thank you for having me again.
Yes, you're very welcome. And thank you guys for checking this out. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.